Welcome back to another Clash Royale video, guys. Today I want to talk about some beginner tips that I have to offer. First, we're going to go ahead and start opening up these chests here, and then we'll go into some replays. So starting with these free chests as always, getting some gold, gems, bomb tower, and some minion horde. One more of those, more gold, tombstone, and some bombers. Moving on to the crown chest here, we have 200 gold, 2 gems, 1 barbarian, 11 cannons, 14 minion horde, and 3 bomb tower. Got some chests down here, 65 gold, 1 inferno tower, and 8 minions. And finally the golden chest here, 200 gold, 5 archers, 1 hog rider, 2 elixir collectors, and some more bombers. Alright, so that's it for the chests here. Let's go on to some replays. So here we go, guys. Now the first tip that I have to offer for new players is patience. Now there's two things to that. First, there's patience in individual battles, and there's also the patience of having to level up your cards and having to level up your towers to progress in trophies. A lot of new players to this game, they want to progress in the trophies and move up in arenas pretty fast. But the problem is you're going to start facing people that are higher level than you, they have higher level cards than you, and it's going to get really tough to consistently win. And so in my opinion, you can win a couple of matches here and there against people that are higher level than you if they're bad. But if you get to the point where you're playing people consistently that are 1 level, 2 levels or more higher than you, then you're doing really good. Then you just kind of have to be patient and wait for your cards to level up before you can progress further than that. The second thing is patience in the battles here. You'll notice in this replay here that for the most part, I'm just waiting, playing defensively, and waiting for the perfect opportunity to go in and do some damage. And when a battle starts, guys, at the start of a battle, you want to play it slow, and you want to try and find out what cards your opponent has, because it'll make it better or make it easier for you to come up with a strategy on how to attack him. If you start going in right off the bat and you don't know what kind of cards he has, you're going to overextend, and he's going to defend, and then you can do a counter push and probably take out one of your towers. So just watch this replay here. You'll notice that a lot of the times I'm just playing defensively, waiting for his troops to come into my zone, and then I'll defend them, take him out, and then use that overextend and go back and do some damage to his towers. So right now I've got that Tesla down. He's playing with a P.E.K.K.A deck, which is pretty good nowadays. A lot of people are running it. And he's got the Prince and the Dark Prince, which is a pretty deadly combo for the single target damage and the AoE damage. So right now he's got a Prince coming in and his Dark Prince. And like I said, I'm just playing defensively. I dropped the Goblins to one side to distract the one Prince, drop my Dragon, and right now I am taking some damage on my tower, but that's okay, because I'm trading damage on my tower for a counter push. So right now I have an opportunity. I have my Barbs and my Dragon down, so I threw in my Hog Rider as well, do a counter push, drop that freeze, and I'm going to get some pretty crazy damage on his tower here. Use a Fireball, take care of those Spear Gobs, and overall things are looking pretty good. He's at 240 health. Now he's trying to do a counter push of his own. I drop my Tesla, take care of that Hog Rider, and overall things are looking okay. His tower is under 240 health. Spear Gobs are going to go in and just get destroyed. So right now I'm just going to play it slow. He's going to another push coming back at me. I'm going to drop my Barbs to one side, the Dragon to the other side, and try and take out his troops. Now I'm forced to have to use the freeze here to take out all of his troops, and that's okay. If you guys have to use all 10 of your elixir trying to defend, that's okay, because you can play it slow and set up a counter push when the time is right. You don't always have to be on the offensive. So right now he just dropped the P.E.K.K.A and the Dark Prince. Pretty deadly combo, because the Dark Prince is going to smash any of the small, weaker units. And he's got the Ice Wizard in the back that's going to slow everything down. But I dropped my Baby Dragon to the side so that the Tesla isn't slowed by the Ice Wizard. He has his Hog Rider coming in. I'm going to use a Fireball to do some pretty strong damage to everything here. Wait, never mind, no I don't. Use the Archers and the Spear Goblins as soon as distract that Prince. And now it's my opportunity. He's got no elixir to defend. I use my Hog Rider. Hog Rider's going to go in and take out that tower. So there you go, guys. That's kind of an example of why being patient and waiting for the right opportunity is important in this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next replay. Now this one was against level 9. And a lot of his cards were like 1 level higher than mine, so right off the bat I'm at a disadvantage. But like I said in that last replay, if you still can win these battles, and if you're consistently winning against people that are that are one level higher than you, or if you're consistently facing people that are one level higher than you, then you're doing pretty good in my opinion. So right at the start here, playing it slow like I said in my last replay, trying to learn what cards he has. I dropped that Tesla just to play defensive. He's going to try and go in with a Wizard and a Hog Rider, and it's not going to work for him. So right now, he wasted like 9 elixir on that push. So I've got a Baby Dragon and a Spear Goblin set going back in to do some damage to his tower here. I'm going to drop a freeze here, which is a bit too much, so I kind of overextended there because he dropped that minion horde in the back, and I was forced to use that fireball there. So that's an example of overextending and wasting elixir when you don't have to. So right there, like with his barbs and the ice wizard, that fireball would have been pretty useful right now, but I didn't have it because I wasted it on that minion horde because I had to use that freeze. So right now I'm just playing defensively, trying to win this elixir trade and go back on the counter push here. So right now things are looking okay. He's gonna go back in with that Hog Rider, and I unfortunately don't have my Tesla with me. So now I got some damage on my tower. He drops the freeze a little bit too late. So anyways, my next tip, guys, for beginners is to try and stick with one deck at the start and try and master it. My go-to deck is the Hog Freeze combo. That's the one I use the most. And occasionally I'll switch out 1 or 2 of the cards depending on what kind of players I'm facing and what kind of cards they're using at that time. But you really want to try and stick with one deck and just master it, learn how it counters other decks and other strategies, and then from there, you know, switch out a couple of cards and then learn those new cards. Because a lot of times, if you change up your deck and do a completely whole new strategy, you know, you can't really expect to win right off the bat. You know, a lot of times when I try out new strategies, I'll lose my first 4 or 5 battles just because I'm trying to learn how to use that deck. So, you know, my recommendation is to stick with one deck at the start and try and master it the best you can. So right here, he's got the Ice Wizard and the Hog Rider coming in. Now, unfortunately, I had to drop my freeze to stop all that damage coming in there because he dropped his freeze. You know, that's okay. If you have to play defensively and use some of your cards defensively, that's okay because you can just wait for the next card cycle to go back on the offensive. A lot of this game, like I said in my last video, is patience and just waiting for the right opportunity to attack, depending on what kind of strategy you're using. If you're using like the Golem strategy, you know, there's different strategies that are all offensive, but for the most part you want to play patiently and just try and find out what cards the opponent has. So right here I got a tower down. He's going to try and make one last push with that Hog Rider, but I dropped that Tesla, and so he's got no chance of winning here. So that's going to be a good game for this battle. Let's move on to the next replay, guys. So here we are with the last replay, guys, and my last tip for you guys is to learn and memorize the cycle of your opponent's cards, and this really ties into my first 2 tips here. We're kind of goofing off here at the start here, but my first 2 tips with patience and learning your deck. If you know your deck, you know what kind of cards counter it, and if you are patient and learn what cards your opponent has, you're gonna know how those cards counter your deck, and so you really have to try and memorize how they're cycling their cards. If you know they have a Tesla, you can't go in with your Hog Rider until that Tesla is down. And a great way to memorize the cycle of your opponent's cards is just to remember what card you played in defeating that or defending that card. So if they play a Tesla and you go in with the Hog Rider and take out that Tesla, then you know when your Hog Rider comes up next that they're pretty likely to have the Tesla back in their hand. So you have to try and mix up their card cycle, get rid of that Tesla, wait for it to be out of their hand before you go in with your Hog Rider. Now this really depends on what kind of deck your opponent has. If they have a lot of low elixir cost troops like these skeletons, spear gobs, or goblins, then they're going to be able to cycle through their cards faster. So you kind of have to kind of think throughout the battle, like watch how many cards they're playing. If they drop a Tesla and you take it out, but then you see them drop 4 or 5 cards after that, and even if your Hog Rider isn't back up, you know, they might have that Tesla back up again. So you have to kind of think through the battle and remember what cards they're playing, what cards they might have back in their deck. So right here, I've been defending this whole time. I haven't been doing too great. My tower is down to 1500 health, and I haven't done any damage to his tower yet. But we'll see how it works out here. He's got that P.E.K.K.A deck again with that Dark Prince combo, which is pretty deadly because the P.E.K.K.A does crazy single target damage, and the Dark Prince can one-hit a lot of low elixir troops there. So right now I'm just going to try and defend. Put my Tesla right in the middle there. His P.E.K.K.A is going to start making his way back up. He drops that Hog Rider. Hog Rider is going to go in and try and take care of that Tesla, and it's going to be able to. I have my Hog Rider going on the right hand side. I drop a freeze to take care of those skeletons, and I use the Fireball, which was a ton of elixir on the right hand side. That was, I think, 12 elixir that I invested on the right hand side to try and take care of that tower. So now things are getting pretty scary on the left, because he's got a Dark Prince, Minion Horde, and a P.E.K.K.A coming in here. So I use my Dragon to take care of the minions, but now his Dark Prince is getting a couple of hits off on my tower, and sometimes you have to absorb that tower damage and build up elixir for a counter push. So now I got my Hog Rider going back in on the right, and I dropped that freeze. That's going to take care of that tower. And the reason I was able to do that was because I didn't defend against that Dark Prince a couple seconds beforehand. I could have dropped a couple troops to take it out faster, but I absorbed that tower damage and then went on the right with my Hog Rider. So he takes care of my tower. Now we're going into overtime. Things aren't looking too good. He's got a P.E.K.K.A, Minion Horde, and a Wizard in my area. I'm going to try the best I can to defend against here. One more P.E.K.K.A coming up here. I only have 4 elixir to defend this, so things are getting pretty crazy here. He drops the Baby Dragon in behind to defend, or to attack, sorry. Barbs are going to take care of that P.E.K.K.A. And overall right now, I'm not even worried about trying to take care of that other tower. I just want to defend, because my King Tower is down to 2,200 health. And he's got a pretty strong elixir advantage here, so I'm just going to try and defend the best I can for the next 30 seconds. And sometimes, guys, if you have to hold out for a draw, that's okay. It's a lot better than losing a battle. So right now I got the Hog Rider going in. I dropped that freeze, doing some pretty strong damage to his tower here. Now I'm like a half a second too late on that Fireball. His tower is down to 117 health. So it kind of sucks, you know, if my Hog Rider was 1 level higher, or my Fireball, or my Baby Dragon was 1 level higher, I probably would have got that. But there you go, guys. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed those tips. Let me know in the comments below if you have your own tips on how to get better at this game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see some more daily Clash Royale videos. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.